Now, still on sports, the Singapore Under-22 football team has ended its SEA Game campaign today with a win against Brunei. But it seems it isn't enough. The Young Lions had a goalless draw against Laos in the opening game in Manila, followed by 3 consecutive losses to Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam. This sealed yet another disappointing SEA Games campaign for the Young Lions and marks the 3rd time in a row Singapore is exiting the Games at the group stage. Coach Fandi Ahmad said that talent is lacking in Singapore and the players are not able to commit full time. Now, as it stands, the match is still ongoing, but towards the end, and the score is 3-0 to Singapore against Brunei. Now, we have correspondent Sazali Abdul Aziz as well in the studio to tell us what the future holds for the Young Lions. Welcome, Saz.
Hey,
Saz, so Fandi's blunt comments have raised eyebrows. Is the team really underperforming, or is it a case of, they're just up against strong teams?
I think even the team's most ardent supporters will agree that they haven't been particularly good at these SEA Games, and this is especially knowing that they have shown in the past they are able to play much better. I think in June they even beat Thailand in the Malayan Cup, which is a exhibition sort of friendly tournament, kind of quadrangular. Even though Thailand were without a couple of stars, but they did really well. They played a lot hard. They looked good going forward. They were resolute. This time in Manila, they seemed to lack cohesiveness. They couldn't really keep the ball.
Right.
There was no creativity. Tenacity wasn't always there. So there's overall very disappointing. Although it has to be said that the SEA Games football tournament is getting tougher, and Fandi is right to say the so-called smaller teams are catching up. Cambodia surprised everyone by beating Malaysia and making it to the semi-finals for the first time ever. Malaysia are out even despite being in the other group, which is supposedly easier than ours. It's really hard to say, but I think everyone can agree that the Young Lions haven't played as well as they could.
Right. So now we've talked about, Young Lions of course not playing well enough. Now let's focus on Fandi as a coach. No one is going to say Fandi is a bad coach, right? So where then do the problems lie?
I think the thing is, obviously Fandi, like you're right, he has a special place in the hearts of a lot of Singaporeans, and I think in this particular case, obviously, when results don't go, a team's way, people tend to look at the coaches. That's why in the EPL, managers get the sack.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, in our case, I think it's an inherited problem in a way, which, like you mentioned, is a third successive group stage exit. So it's not an isolated incident where we had bad tactics or something like that. It really is a case of our youth development system has sort of spluttered in recent years, and basically just not producing that caliber player which we hope and expect for. I think the last strong batch was players born in around 1990-92, which is Harun's batch, and after that we've had maybe one standout player in Safwan Barudin, but not really much else. So I think that's something that has to be fixed. It's a long-standing problem. It's not just the problem of the head coach or just one or two individuals. I think.
Right. It's a multitude of factors. It seems. So then, having said all that, what does the future hold for the Young Lions? Do you think they'll be able to pick themselves up again?
Yeah, well, we've spoken to some ex-players, some ex-national players, some coaches for a story that's coming out tomorrow. It's almost like a post-mortem looking at the under-22s and the Young Lions. And I think one interesting call that has been raised is whether the Young Lions should stay in the Singapore Premier League, which is the professional local league where they're playing. A lot of people are saying, it's been 6 years since we won a medal at the 2013 SEA Games. The Young Lion has run its course. It should be scrapped. The players should go to clubs and try to improve there. But yeah, it's, whatever it is, it's certainly something FAS has to sit down. The Football Association of Singapore has to sort of sit down, analyse and fix, and quite urgently, because you look at the next generation of SEA Games players in 2021. The next batch of players this year didn't really do so well in Asian qualifiers. They lost 11-0 to South Korea and 8-0 to Myanmar. So I mean, if these guys are going to step up and be our SEA Games team, we really need a lot of improvement in the next 18 to 24 months. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of inquiry happens in the FAS and what they'll do to fix the problems.
Right. Now, thank you, Saz, for that candid sharing. And of course, you mentioned earlier there's going to be an article that's out tomorrow that will
look
serve
into
as a post-mortem of sorts into the team right there. And of course, you can catch that on our website at straitstimes.com. Now, there you have it, the top stories for today. For more news and videos, of course, you can visit our website. Once again, I'm Haryanto. Now, catch us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.